as a council member. My major background is that I'm a student at UC Berkeley. I was the youngest candidate to run for mayor in the city of Berkeley, and I've also ran for city council of District 7, which houses UC Berkeley. I was a former vice chair of the Berkeley's Homeless Commission. I have experience at the international, federal, state, local, and grassroots levels of governance, and so I'm well-rounded in that way. And fun fact about me is that I was the first legally non-binary person running for public office in the United States history back in 2018. And so I'm very proud to have that diverse experience moving forward in my life.
Very good. So this is, of course, a solution summit. And one of the issues that we always have with identifying solutions is identifying the problem. Now, all of you are very familiar with grassroots movements and grassroots organizations, been very well developed. What would you consider to be the first and primary issue that you've encountered with money in politics versus the grassroots movements that you've been involved in? Aiden, let's go ahead and start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Money in politics to me is always the biggest issue. In Berkeley, we have public financing, and yet still money is injected into the political system that makes it harder for third-party candidates and independents to even get onto the ballot. So even in Berkeley, where we have this system that's supposed to help candidates get access to money, we see people who are well established in the democratic structure who have access to $40,000, $100,000, getting major funding from the police unions and the developers who are currently gentrifying our city. Whereas people like me, who are known to be around people who are homeless, low income, people who are renting their apartments, they don't have the same money to give into the election cycle. And so money in politics is a huge issue because it benefits those who don't even really care about the issues that are facing the most at-risk members of our community. It supports those who are gentrifying people out of the area, who are trying to make large-scale businesses while mom and pop shops are taken out. And the police union especially, which takes the majority of our budget here in the city of Berkeley. And so money in politics is the corruption that happens to our political integrity.
Excellent. Carrie, with the Greens in your area, what's the biggest problem you've run into?
It's ballot access. So echoing kind of what Aiden said, it kind of goes down the line because not only are you required to get more signatures as a candidate, or if you drop to a minor party status, or because of the last election here in New Mexico, Green Party doesn't even have minor party status anymore because of, the vote blue no matter who in this last election. So it's more than that, though. Once you get on the ballot and you earn all of those signatures, now you have the challenge of ballot signature challenges. And this is, again, where the money comes in two ways. Number one, you as a candidate, as a regular person running for any office, now have to retain a lawyer and defend against these challenges. Some of them are really far out there where they're goal is to knock off enough of your signatures so you can't even be a candidate. So that puts a financial barrier. It's nothing short of a poll tax against the candidate where now they must fund that. And then on the other side of that, you have a situation where you have judges who are supposed to be impartial, but let's be honest, some of them are appointed by their party leaders. So they're the ones who are actually hearing the cases. And in many times, not just here, but all across the country, you will see these cases drag on and on, passing the deadline for printing ballots. That means you as a candidate never got your day in court, but you no longer have access to be a candidate because the ballot is removed from you. So there are so many different ways in which money plays a role in who can run, who gets ballot access, and who ultimately the people get to vote for.
Nathan.
Well, number one, I just want to say I can't agree more with what everything everybody's talking about here. I just want to kind of throw in a couple other things in addition. I think that the main thing standing in our way is actually just awareness of our neighbors that there is a choice, that you can vote for candidates that are not for sale, okay? And that the Green Party are those candidates, okay? And the only way we're going to get to them, we're not going to get to them on the internet, and we're not going to get to them on the TV. You know, we don't have, you know, they're not watching our channel. We have to meet them where they're at in the public right of way. We've got to go to the city market. We got to go to the concert hall. We've got to meet them in the street, and we've got to meet them face to face, because we're out there doing it right now with the ballot access petition. And that's kind of one of the secrets of the Green Party, is we're always out there petitioning for ballot access, right? But that gets us face to face with people, right? And when you talk face to face, I bump into blue no matter who people, Trump people, but you know what all of them believe in? They believe in democracy, and they believe that our politics are corrupt, and they are very interested across the political spectrum in a choice that's not for sale. And we got to go out to them. I mean, this type of forum here is great. I think it's very important. I want to commend everyone that's putting this on, but we have to get out there and talk face to face and build, and then we got to build a volunteer-based movement, right? That can't be sold. And we have to make our candidates sign commitments that they won't take the money. And that's what we tell people on the street. Say, you find a Green Party candidate on the ballot, you found a person that's there for the right reason. You found a person that's there to represent that community. And number one, to take your tax dollars, the biggest pot of money in the world, the US tax base, and put it to work for us, the citizens of our community, for our needs, and not the needs of wealthy campaign contributors. And the only way you can do that is to vote Green Party, is to volunteer Green Party, to donate Green Party, and and to ultimately, we're asking people to run Green Party, right? And that's, I think that's it. And I'm out there talking to people we are out several times a week, and I'm very optimistic because I'm out there talking directly to people, and people are nicer and more cooperative and actually agree with us more face to face than when you try to talk to people online. So, I think that there's a way forward.
Absolutely. Carrie, Nathan brought up some issues in the whole grassroots versus money movement. Getting out and actually doing the meet and greets, doing the politicking, and building the grassroots volunteers. It's the labor versus the capital in politics. You have any more feedback on that with your personal experiences in New Mexico?
Absolutely. And I have to say, when I ran for office, I was a candidate in Illinois, and I think the same holds true regardless of where you are. Canvassing. You cannot underestimate the power of canvassing. This is door to door, particularly as a candidate for a cause or things like that, because I think we forget in our online lives that the majority of voters are not getting that information online. They're not getting it anywhere. And right now, when you see statistically, most people don't trust mainstream media. So where are they getting this information? And will you show up at the door as a representative for your party, yourself, or asking for that vote? That has such value. So when we work with other candidates, we're always constantly going, you've got to have at least 4 or 5 touches. And that's a personal touch. That's you at the door asking for the vote, listening to them. That is one of the ways that we absolutely counteract all of the big money. And I often tell candidates or anyone who's interested in running, if you're running for a higher level and people are turning away from mainstream media, from the corporate-owned media, let them spend millions upon millions of dollars on ads that nobody's going to see, because they're going to see you at the door. And you cannot underestimate the value.
Absolutely. Aiden,